Hello everyone, happy Monday, and I hope everyone's had a blessed Lent season so far. And as we enter into the last week of Lent before we celebrate Easter on Sunday, let's focus our attention to Leviticus chapter 2. And if you have not had the chance to read this passage yet, please pause this video and read it. Leviticus is a hard read because there are lots of rules and sometimes it's difficult to understand, but it is still very applicable in our lives today. So in this chapter, we read about the grain offering. Society was filled with farmers during this time, so it benefited all men and women and was something even the poor could offer as an offering. This made grains a unique offering that was universal and so was an appropriate offering for God. The grain offering could be done in two ways, either by giving unbaked flour and oil mixed with frankincense, or by baking it in a number of different ways and presenting it that way. No matter if they were given baked or unbaked offerings, we see that the flour was supposed to be really fine, meaning that it took some hard work to make. Only part of the grain offering is offered on the altar. The rest was given to the priest. Also, there are requirements about what can and can't be included in the recipe. Honey and yeast both led to fermentation and decay, so they cannot be included in the offering. Salt, however, is required. Salt was commonly used for preservation, and also as a symbol of a binding covenant. The role of salt in the Bible is relevant to understanding society during this time. Salt is a necessity of life, and it was a mineral that was used since ancient times in many cultures as a seasoning, a preservative, a disinfectant, and a component of ceremonial offerings, and even as a unit of exchange. The Bible contains numerous references to salt. In various contexts, it is used metaphorically to signify loyalty, durability, usefulness, value, and purification. Without a combination of a lot of work, the water, sun, and soil to grow the grain, it wouldn't exist. And without the human cultivation of the grain and the hard work in grinding it into flour, it would be difficult to use the grain. This offering was made as a part of daily living and as a way to remember that humanity depends on God for daily provisions. A grain offering is sometimes seen like a tribute. God gave instructions for offerings when the Israelites were still in the desert. Grain doesn't just come about in the desert. The grain that the Israelites were offering to God was the direct result of two things: human labor and God's provision. God did not want leaven or yeast in the grain offerings. In the picture of the grain offering, we can say that God did not want his service to be corrupted by sin or by leaven. If the grain offering is a picture of proper service to God, it is also a reminder that we fall short in serving God as we should. We are grateful that Jesus fulfilled the heart and meaning of the grain offering for us, as the one who perfectly served God, whose service was never touched with leaven in any way. The fact that God commanded that every grain offering should include a pinch of salt shows that small things matter in our service to God. Our faithfulness in small things honors God. A pinch of salt may seem unimportant to us, but before the Lord it is important. Because Saul spoke of so many things, the covenant, the fellowship, sincerity, purity, the inclusion of salt with all your offerings, speaks to the way we should serve God. Have a great rest of the week.